You know, like I said last week, and I'm going to probably keep saying it every single week. First off, welcome to the Dentologist. I'm Ian Cordle, your host. But what I was going to finish saying was, man, it's good. Every time I play one of these videos, it just goes to show the time and effort I put into it. I'm just patting myself on the back. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing here today? I've got an extra special guest here today. And I know I say that every week. I'll probably keep saying it every week. But this gentleman was just deemed the new president of ARC. And for those of you that don't know about ARC, it's a technician approved process where, these technicians from all around the world receive a certification and a plaque and some stuff they can put on their website and everything else. But it's virtually a vetting process by other technicians in the field. So without any more said, we got Trey in here. He's waiting to come on. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here because he is the man of the hour. Let's let him in here, and he can tell you more about it. Good morning, Trey.
Hey, good morning, Ian. How you doing?
It's been already, dude, it's Tuesday. It's already been a long week. It feels like it's already been a full week.
Man, I tell you what, time goes slow in times like now.
Yeah. It does, man. This is California, so we're always we're always moving and shaking out here, man. Eating our Wheaties for sure. Well, man, I'm so happy to have you on here. We've talked briefly. I know Randy had you on, and we spoke about a few different topics, on that show and everything. Some new stuff has popped up, and that was your vetting and being president of ARC. And, I know there's a lot of people out there with a lot of questions. I'm one of them. I back ARC, David Haxton and, Mr. Castillo, great guy. For those that don't know you, Robert he'll definitely give you an earful, man. I love that guy for it too. But I'll tell you what, ARC in itself is I believe a great avenue for technicians that, really not many people would have known about them or the quality work that they're performing, had, let's say, a school or, another vetting process that wasn't, technician vetted. So their peers are who judge these people. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Dent guys look at dents,
That's right.
So, it's not a panel of non-Dent guy members looking at dents. Dent guys look at, we know what to look for. It is a peer-based review system. However, the peers, the 13 judges that I get to choose from to judge, they're all highly qualified, highly credentialed technicians. So
they keep kind of quiet as far as we don't you don't let them know who those people are, and no one really knows who those people are but the people in the high ranks, you being one of them.
Sure. I'm really excited to take over Robert Castillo's position, and I know it's I definitely have some big shoes to fill. I'm looking forward to serving the ARC members. That's primarily my job, is to help ARC members help themselves through through their digital plaques and helping them with their content and things like that. So I'm really excited.
I had a couple of things that I wanted to bring up, and this is just from, I call it table talk. So, you're sitting down with a technician, whether it's at Mobile Tech Expo or over the phone. I talk to a lot of guys, and one of the conversations that's come up, I know this has crossed some people's minds, not really mine myself. I'm so excited to have another vetting or another plaque to hang up on my wall, in the 3 years of doing it. But some people have said, and I know I need to talk to David Haxton about this too as well, is that I've heard it. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm blunt. That this is a front for gaining all these technicians under a different business or something else. There's something else that's the subject. And this is something that I couldn't answer. I have no idea. Again, David Haxton doesn't seem like that type of person to me. He is somebody that really is doing this for the technician. So, maybe you could shed a little light on this. You've probably heard it, especially being the president.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of, bring that subject up. I think it's a really good subject.
Yeah, no worries. Now, here's what I will tell you when it comes down to some of the technical aspects of ARC. I'm still being, I'm still studying up on my duties, which I'll take over in May. Now, as far as the alternative angles, there is no angle. It's a nonprofit. It is literally a nonprofit certification program. There is no winner but the ARC members themselves. Okay, right. If you go on the ARC website and look for a member, you're not going to find any details about any specific member. And the reason why we do that so that way if a customer is looking for you, Ian, they're looking to verify what you say. They say, you say you're an ARC member, they go to the ARC website to verify that you are who you say you are, and also to see other content that you've done before, the big dents, the big damage, and they're looking for you. We want to make sure that we don't accidentally lead them to another person inside ARC. What if they're going through and see somebody else's name that looks cuter, that maybe had a nice looking tie that day, and they want to call that person. Well, that's the reason why we don't put personal details on our website.
That's certified. That now, just to kind of clarify, it's not arc.com or anything. It's certified PDR.com, right?
PDR, that's right.
I'll put that up on the screen here.
Cool.
And welcome. We're going to keep on the subject here for a moment, but we've got apparently a really big fan of yours out in the audience right now, and her name is Hannah. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I know a lot of the people saw in the intro, the majority of the pictures. I have to let everybody know. This guy Trey is the kind of guy that when I ask him, what his pastimes are, like what does he like to do for fun, it blew me out of the water. It was cuddling. And, it's totally obvious with the pictures that he had sent me when I said, hey, man, send me some pictures to highlight yourself and everything else. And I pretty much had to pull teeth just to get him to maybe send me one or two with him pushing. The rest of them is him and his woman. So he's definitely in love. Hannah, you got a good guy. He definitely parades you around like, a showpiece. And that's definitely what a lot of women, that's what they want, man. They want to be paid attention to and everything. And she's a nice girl. We talked a little bit there at MTE. I mean, just for a brief, maybe 5-minute stint. Everybody's kind of moving and shaking there at MTE. Yeah. But the ARC, the ARC certification, just the fact that David Haxton, sends out these plaques. Yeah. Excuse me. Sends out these plaques. Vets these people, finds top-notch technicians to view these renditions of their work and everything and how they portray it, and that's another thing too, is portraying your work. You can be an awesome technician, but absolutely suck behind the camera, suck behind the video, and it's like, anybody can take videos and do that kind of stuff. But that's probably, I would reckon that's probably a hard job for the guys that are out there judging these jobs. Is that right?
And it is. And not everybody, not everybody passes, but most of the time, given a second go around, most people can get it right. But, on occasion we have to go back and say, look, maybe you should, train a little more, but overall, it's a great situation. The more I get to know about it, the more I like it, to be honest with you. It works in conjunction with everybody else, with the rest of your nonprofit, do good services such as NAPDRT and PDR contractors. Everybody kind of plays their part, right? And helping technicians help themselves. And ARC is
that's so true, man. That's a great venue, man. Again, I'm super stoked about ARC. I've got them up on just about every window. I've got them on my website, so I'm definitely a supporter. Hey, look who we have here. We have we have to acknowledge here. We've got the man of the hour, the second man of the hour. That's John Hiley. How you doing, my brother?
Oh yeah, man.
He's saying hi. So who else we got out here? We got Sammy. Mm-hmm. We got James Bernard. We got a couple of people here that it's not showing who they are. It'll show them later on when we watch the video afterwards. But thank you all for showing up here for the show. So we were talking a little bit about ARC, the subject behind it. Would you say that, you had mentioned a little bit of something about the whole aspect of, these people sending in pictures or getting vetted, and they might need a little more training. That would probably be an excellent venue, to make sure that they get the right training or show them where they're lacking on, or what have you. But boy, I sure wouldn't want to be the one on the phone going, "Hey, buddy, you're going to need to, but you know what? It can also be a really positive thing because, other than this, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know they need help.
And that's, as a hell chaser, it's very easy for me to judge how good I am because I work around some of the world's best technicians all year, every year. So I can look across a stall at me and know, how I'm comparing to somebody else. Whereas somebody who maybe is in a brick and mortar shop who doesn't travel as much may not have a clue that that what they're doing doesn't qualify as good work. A professional person would take the constructive criticism, and run with it, and be better themselves. And that's really what we do is, we as far as ARC goes, we really want to help ARC members help themselves. That they can display their accomplishment through their digital plaque and their QR code, which will lead them directly to their profile inside ARC. And and that's really what we do is help our members help themselves.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, like I said again, I'm a firm believer in it, and I really think that having this venue for David Haxton to start this venue, and people like Robert Castillo, and yourself now being the appointed president here of ARC, it's obvious that they're surrounding themselves with great people. It's obvious that their agenda is on the up and up. And kudos to that.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it.
So, hey, another question was, how long have you been doing Paintless Dent Repair?
Well, I have been professionally doing it for probably 11, 12 years. However, I grew up in a brick and mortar shop. I'm a second generation tech, and I actually pushed my first dent to completion when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
I've been a headliner since I was 12. I had a stint in the Marine Corps in between high school and doing this professionally. So,
military. All right.
Yeah, Marine Corps. So.
Okay. Awesome. Ooh.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, you're in California, so you got all the little Marines running around.
Oh, we got plenty of them, man. We also got a lot of. I won't even mention it, but hey, I'll tell you what. To do it at 16 years old, was your family in it? Or was that how?
My dad started trained in 1990 in California. Started a brick and mortar shop in Lubbock, Texas, and has and that's how I grew up. Was in a brick and mortar shop, never chasing, which is.
Wonder if I ever met your pops, man. I know 91 is when when I trained and it was here in California. But man, it's just a small, this community. I can't say enough, dude. Our community of paintless dent repair guys and professionals. It is a tight knit community. We hold tight to us. The people that we know, the relationships that we've made, and the ones that we're keeping. It definitely has a lot to say about the paintless dent repair as a whole. I'm looking through my questions here. Let's see what we have here. So we had already, we had talked a little bit about ARC. We had talked a little bit about who you are, how you got trained, kind of your past and everything. A question, that kind of pops up into my mind is, to kind of understand who Trey is, I understand that, you do hail. I know this now. Where you're located, which is in Texas, is that right?
I'm actually in South Georgia.
You're in Georgia.
I'm living. I was born and raised in Texas. I have a lot of friends and family in Texas. I enjoy being in Texas. But while Hannah was in school, she went to Tallahassee to Florida State University, and so we're staying about 30 minutes north of there in South Georgia, a little town called.
Okay. Now you do just hail? Is that what you do? Do you have a shop location? Do you travel? What's going on there?
I don't even have a business card, to be honest with you.
Really?
No, I really don't. I don't have a website. I don't have a business card. I don't have nothing. Hannah and I are in the process of developing a business and a business model. We've been working behind the scenes for, really since this winter, all winter, this long winter. And we're looking forward to popping that off, and I'll darn sure let you know whenever that happens.
That's awesome, man.
This year is probably going to be a year of support. Hannah is wrapping up her master's and is able to travel now, and she's about done with her adjuster certification. So we will be able to be major assets in any type of situation that we get put in. So this year, but and especially this year, this year's different. This year we started out with different goals than what we have now. This year's a different year.
Yes,
there's a lot of people who are going to be in financial binds, and sometimes you don't always get the memo. So,
you know what? That brings up another subject here. I heard something about it yesterday, and I'm a little bit concerned because it's not too far off from where I'm at. I don't know if it was just a disgruntled customer or what, but I had heard that a friend of mine, I don't really even know if I should mention his name. I hope that I'm not overstepping myself here, but Daniel Grom, I heard, he posted on Facebook, so it should be okay. Everything, if it's posted on Facebook, man, it's open, dude. We got it.
Sure.
But I heard that he was actually shut down, dude, by the police. Like they came to his shop and shut him down, and something about he was able to keep his detailer going, but he was deemed not essential, and that kind of raises a red flag because again. I think the only real difference, between me and Dan, is the fact that, I will not stop being mobile. I've just built it too many years and everything. So my shop is great for doing some of the bigger jobs, but for the most part, I usually, when I do jobs, I shut it down and I start working here. So, with the new challenges that there are out there today, which, they're literally new. There's a new one popping up every day. And this is one of them. Jude, I don't even understand or I can't even fathom really what to do about that. Cause we're talking about the local government, on a state level that's telling you can't work. And man, I feel strongly about that, dude. Like I'm meat and potatoes, dude. Somebody comes in, tells me, hey, by the way, yes, thank you for being an American citizen, paying your taxes and everything. But you can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I get strong. I get really big feelings about that, man. Sure. What do you think?
What do I think? There is a fine line between, being helpful and hurtful. I have my private views on the shutdown of it, but apparently, what all the models were saying was that 2 million people would die had we done nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a lot of people. I mean, that's just a lot of people in a short amount of time. Now, I understand that what we did worked. When do you open up? If we can look at South Korea and know that if we open up too much too soon, we'll come right back.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a lot of conspiracies floating around. I don't think this is 5G. Okay, I don't think the virus isn't real. Okay, the virus, obviously, we personally know people that have had it, that have it, tested for it.
Right.
Family members.
And that's another thing too, dude. There was, I don't want to, pin anything on me or anything, but it, I did feel a little something, during Mobile Tech Expo, and before you know it, as the day leaving there, everyone around me is just sicker than a dog. But I never got that sick, so I'll just leave that at there. I probably should shut my mouth, but let's see here.
And I thought the exact same thing initially too.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
There's a lot of, cause you had, some pneumonia or walking pneumonia or bronchitis or something.
I had it for 3 weeks. You invited me on back then. I couldn't even come on because I had this lingering thing from MTE. Now, from what I understand from the people that have had it, they say if it feels like anything you've had before or have heard of people having before, it's not it. Wow. Like the guys that have had it that I know have said this is nothing like it. It's like getting thrown off a balcony. I mean, they said it just hits you like a ton of bricks. It sucks the energy. You really think you're going to die.
I'm a whip, dude. I mean, I get a sniffle, dude, and I'm calling for my wife to come bring me soup, and I'm just the biggest whip when it comes to being sick, dude. So this.
Yeah, that is
I'm telling you what, man. I'd be hurt, dude. We got all kinds of people commenting here, and I have to acknowledge them here. We got I need to go back here. We got all kinds of people. So we got and it's pretty much between John Hiley and your woman Hannah here. So let's see here. She's stating that John Hiley means a lot coming from you. So many hours talking through ideas. And that's great. People like John are great people to reach out to. I mean, gosh, talk about somebody that has just really made his mark and continues to make his mark and be heard in the PDR industry,
Iron sharpens iron.
Kudos to John.
Iron sharpens iron, so.
Amen. That's exactly it, man. Iron sharpens iron.
Don
Who else? We got and Don Kavanaugh.
Yeah, for sure.
We got Donnie out there. Good guy.
He is. Don's a cool dude.
Yes, sir. So Sean Sheets, he's if I said that right, he's out there. Yeah. And pretty much, John Hiley and your woman are taking the stage here. So let's get on to the next subject. Sure. And that would probably be, if I was to create another subject to talk about with Trey, we're big dudes.
Yep.
And a lot of people would look at us, here, I'll make a for instance, I've had, being in this industry, I've had dudes like, body shop owners and stuff that I've, had long-term relationships, 20, 25 year plus relationships. And this one guy, he, bless his heart, man, he sold his shop to a big chain, made his money, God bless him, but was around for a lot of years. And I remember him introducing me to adjusters and customers and everything. And every time it was this thing, don't be afraid. His hands are really big. He's a big dude, but he has the touch of an angel. Yeah. He has the touch of an angel. Sure. So, Trey, being a big dude in this industry, have you seen that helps you, hinders you?
For the hail game, it definitely helps me. Long arms help. Long arms help fixing blasted hood, blasted roofs. Where it hinders me is on extreme side damage, wind driven all the way down to the bottom of a rocker panel, Volkswagen Gig 2012, all the way down to the rocker panels. That's a problem for me. I can't fold myself up enough to get low enough to do anything like that. So usually
I've worked for so many years. Look at that, dude. I worked for so many years where my arm, I literally make that sucker straight and bend down and use my fingertips, to turn the tip of the tool. And so it's definitely long time, man, of stretching tendons and muscles and stuff, For sure. I hear you. And that's a great subject too. Guys that are, let's say, quote unquote door dingers or route guys compared to hail guys. I was on a small little teeny hail endeavor in Colorado with some great technicians, John Renstrom, Stuckey, I can go on and on, just incredible guys and technicians. Wade Hartley, got to give him some props. Good guy. Oh my gosh, he's a character. I love Wade. But man, when we were out there, it was like, okay, who's going to take the roof? And, I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my, these are ridiculous. And then, they're like, who's going to take the sides? And I'm the first one up, that's what I do. So that's the thing is, you practice for years and years and years on one specific area. And then, you see someone go on to a huge knocker right there on the roof and just melt it out in like a minute and a half, and you thought you were good. And it's just practice. It is virtually what it is, man. If that's what you do for a living, right? What would you say about that?
Yeah, perfect practice makes perfect, so anybody can get out there and push dents, but if you do it well and do it over and over again, you can do it again faster. And I think there's really two sets of technicians out there, at least the ones that have made it that I found. You have guys that have strived to do the best work they can, and it's taken longer for them to be competitive time wise. Right. It took them longer to figure out how to fix that dent well enough, fast enough to compete with the guys that are hacking it up. But I think it puts them in a different market. I know it sure has helped me. I don't shy away from big damage. I don't care. I look at how much money I'm making a week. I don't even care about percentages, to be honest with you. How much am I making per week versus the effort I'm putting in?
That's right.
Everything else be damned.
Yeah.
I do not care where the rest of the money goes. I care where the money goes in my pocket. So
that's right, man. That's right. Hey, I'm a firm believer of that, numbers and knowing where you at for your totals for the month. This is something that I've taught, any technicians that I've trained or worked for me. My son, I'm adamant, hey bro, where's your appointment calendar? And I'll see him go onto his phone and start, cause he's missed a couple days, and he'll go in there and he'll start writing it. It's like, no, dude, every day The finish of your day is to know where your money is, man. Know what you build that day. Because at the end of the month, if you weren't counting and figuring out what you needed to bill for that next day and how you were going to work, and plus it does, like you said, it helps you to scheme how you're going to take on the jobs, what you're going to bill for these jobs, the jobs you're going to actually do that day, or maybe hold off for the next day because, you got 3 jobs, you can make this much, or you got 7 jobs and you're making the same amount. So what would you rather choose to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which I think I know the answer to that, right?
Without a doubt. So in my game, it's probably a little different. I usually give a gig a week or 2, depending on how bad or good it goes. Obviously, if it's an abysmal first week, I probably won't. I'll probably look at the time somewhere else to go. But I usually try to give a gig 2 weeks because the first week could be a fluke, and it could be a really great week followed by a shitty week, and that averages out to whatever.
Hey, we have them. I mean, dude, that's the thing about this. That's the thing about this. Paintless thoroughfare as a whole, dude. It beats you down, and you think that you are the shit. You think that you got it down. You think, whether it's from scheduling or the job you take on, or that one stinking dent that's the finish of the car that just whoops your butt. Literally whoops your butt.
Post paint, man, you're done. You're done with the smoked rail. It's taking you 6 hours. You didn't want to do it anyways. You're doing a favor for a body shop, and bam, you're ringling it. And it's just terrible.
I hate that, dude. I absolutely hate it, man. It'll literally ruin my whole month. I'll take that to bed with me. I hate it. So that's being OCD too. But hey, did you have any questions yourself, or answers to, where we're moving forward on this? Or maybe let's talk about, I have a great subject. We'll get back to that. The subject, are you on a hailstorm right now?
I'm not. No, I'm at home.
Okay. So, is there hailstorms around you?
There's not hailstorms around me. There's work out there if you want it. Honestly, I took a more cautious approach. Fortunately, our planning, our good planning allowed us to be able to sit for a second and see what's going to happen.
Right.
I'm not as concerned about the virus as I was. I think if you're a decently healthy person with some good resources, I think you'll be okay.
Yep.
That being said, you don't want to be the guy who spreads it to somewhere where somebody dies. Survivor's guilt is a real thing, and I know a lot of people can't handle that. I know that for myself included. Could you imagine forcing a gig and then you finding out that you picked it up in Mississippi on your way to Missouri and you gave it to a family whose grandma died? That's a real scenario. It's like, mind blown.
I know, dude.
So, as far as those things go, I'm being pretty cautious. I'm most concerned about economically. There's a whole lot of uncertainty, Ian.
Oh God.
A whole lot of uncertainty. Body shops are struggling. It's something that Dent guys need to understand. You think that these body shops are just rely upon you. So they're like, oh well, at least they can be open. We can't even be open. At least they can be open. Nobody's driving. 75% of the traffic is down. Nobody's having.
I know.
So
I even mentioned, in case any legal authorities are watching this show, I was going out to a city to sterilize a car for a customer, and man, I couldn't believe driving through an area that usually is literally packed. We're talking thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, either walking the street and cars and everything else. I was like, you know what? I need to reach out to Sal because I'm not too far from this guy. I need to say, what's going on and just kind of, trip out with him for a second on a phone call. And he did. He called me back and he goes, yeah. He goes, it's crazy. He goes, I try not to, let it consume me as far as just going, this is, I've never experienced it. He had never experienced it. It's just weird, man, and what's going on right now, but you drive out there, especially here in California, it's never not busy. We're talking 24 hours a day, never not busy. And it's just like, there's nobody walking. There's nobody, going out to lunch because everywhere's closed. It's pretty crazy right now. It is.
It is. And as a hell chaser, this is something that we had to look at. It's like each county and municipality has their own different set of rules. You have state rules, you have county rules, and local rules. So what if I'm driving through a municipality that has a flare up where they've locked the whole thing down, where they won't let you out? This is a real thing where they force you to quarantine for 14 days in their county before you can leave. We're on the road. Okay, that's a scenario. These are things that have come up. I had a buddy who set up in Missouri who got served a cease and desist with the Attorney General. I mean, this, in Lubbock, people set up in Lubbock whenever that storm hit. 2 weeks later, Lubbock shut down. Now, I understand PDR guys are allowed to remain open, but from what I understand, even people, I talked to a guy whose own family members won't let him have their car. They're scared to death. So you've got legalities, you've got the atmosphere of the town you're fighting against. What happens when we run out of parts? Because all of our parts come from China. There's so much uncertainty about which way this thing is going to go. It's going to be just like I said on the PDR job postings page. Be very, very careful. As a hail chaser this year above all other years, be very careful who you work for. Caliber's on a 90-day turnarout.
Dude, that blew my mind when I read that. When I read that letter that came to me, and it was like, 'cause I service a couple of them, and I've actually always been. I think it was the first job when they had purchased the shops that I was in. Yeah. It was like, hey, we're not set up yet. We don't have you set up as a vendor yet, but go ahead and take credit card. It was like, can we just do this from here on out? I'm okay with it, and it's been like that since. So I don't think it really affects me. But what has affected me is, like overnight, went from, gangbustering to nothing. Literally nothing since at these two shops since this, went down. So, kind of crazy. It is actually really crazy. This is unprecedented. What's going on is unprecedented. Because it's unprecedented, it's uncertain. So it's like, just because I worked for a broker in the past and he's a good guy, he's a good broker, he's a good guy, will always pay me. Well, what if his shop doesn't pay him because his shop is going through divorce that he didn't know about? This time crunch, this crunch hits, the shop's hitting bankruptcy, and all of a sudden the broker can't pay everybody else. Well, now good guy. These are real situations that are going to happen this year. And that's why I'm being as cautious as I am before I go out. I'll probably head out here soon. But I'll probably be working for a larger company or a personal friend doing retail. Literally a personal friend, because that money can't get messed up. If your personal friend will pay you in retail, you're fine. Or a bigger company. That's kind of what I'm doing this year. Right. Well, it's smart, and with everything we're talking about, saying, how many obstacles, one that we already have to deal with being paintless dent repair technicians, the ordering the parts and the, out of 1,000 dents on a car are we going to get the last one out? Now we have these obstacles, which are huge. These are things we haven't ever dealt with. No one has, so we don't know what to make of it. And, it's basically what both of us are saying in this is tread lightly. Make sure that you got your insurance up to date. Make sure that you got, everything that you follow. Just a couple, take another 5 minutes with something. Be patient. And when you do get a job and, wipe it down, because that would be the last thing, again, that I would want, where somebody goes, well, I was over there, at that place, that was where, and it just seemed like they were dirty, and then that's all you need. That's
body shops remaining open right now are taking a risk as well. What happened? Just like you said, what happens when their whole staff gets it and gives it to 10 other customers? Like, what does that look like for you as your 20-year business you built? Okay, what is that? Does that open you up to a lawsuit? These are all things that are going to be answered this year. And as the technician, you're last on the list to get paid. I promise. Right.
Oh yeah, guarantee. That's something too. I want to definitely breach on that, because that is a great subject. People. Guys, gals, everyone out there doing PDR, be very cautious. And that is, these dealers and so forth. I'm actually in the middle of this with my son right now. He calls me and goes, because I keep pushing him, keep with your dealerships. Don't just turn it off and not show up or whatever. These are guys that I've, established relationships over 25 years with some of them. Make sure that, you go in there and you make sure that they're okay. Take the extra time, dude. You got it. Might as well do it. But then he calls me and says, I have 18 cars. And it's like, okay, so I'm on the phone and I'm making sure that money's tight, because believe me, you want to make sure my money's right, especially if I do the work, So, but hey, all this doom and gloom, let's talk about some of the positive things. Let's talk about some of the positive things that have come out of this that I've seen and then maybe and let's talk about what you've seen. And what I've seen is a coming together. Absolutely. I've seen a huge coming together. Guys that are reaching out to other people in the industry, saying, you know what, I value what you say, or I want to kind of brainstorm together with you to come up with different marketing ideas. Because these things will pass eventually, and the market will go up, and cars will be getting sold, and cars will be getting worked on. So I have truly seen so many people that have, let's say, been reaching for the burner, and these dudes are grabbing both hands, turning them up, ready to rock and roll. So what about you? What do you see?
Well, here's the deal, man. The strong survive and the weak go away. So and I think as Dent guys, as a majority for all of us, I really believe most of us, I mean, we're pretty hard-headed, move the mountain one shovel at a time. If it's got to be done, it's got to be done. We'll go out and get it. Most of us adapt and overcome. If you're in this industry and have been in this industry for an duration of time, you've gone through your own stuff, to make it to where you are. This ain't nothing.
That's right.
And for the guy,
I call it bringing it back to old school, baby. Bring it back to old school. I'm pounding pavement. Whatever. I'm going out. Hey, yeah. I'm working. I'm shaking. I'm moving. And you know what? I got many facets. Paintless Dent Repair is not the only one. Sure. If it really comes down to it. So that's just how it works. But that's my definition of old school. I'm definitely that. But when it comes to times like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ian. Maybe this winter we can go do collections. You know what I mean?
Hey, dude, I'm down with that. I'm down with that, man. We'll just do it. We'll just do a 30% fee, and hey, dude, when some guys are getting paid, you know what? We're going to make that money.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, man.
I love it, dude. That's great. I love that, man. You know what? We're going to work something out, dude. We're going to work something out. We got Matt Moore in the audience.
I love Matt.
Good dude. Man, that dude, is it just me? Or does it just seem like there's a computer, like there's somebody in his brain? Constantly, dude. That guy is constantly thinking about stuff. Constantly, just a plethora of information, man.
Matt, if I'd have had one little piece of information that Matt Moore spoke at the Mega Media event, John Halley's event, and it has stuck with me, and I really wish somebody would have told it to me when I was younger. It has to do with working with family. Okay. And honestly, I don't work with my dad, and my brother's in the industry. And I don't work with my brother, but what he said was, before you hire a family member or friend, picture yourself firing that person, and if that's going to hurt your relationship, don't hire him.
Oh wow!
And I was like, I'm talking about mind blown. And so now, as I'm doing hires of friends and family, I'm literally picturing myself having that hard conversation. And if that hard conversation can't happen and a relationship still happens, that's it. It's a no-go. So
wow. I think with me, it's if I can just find people that will put up with me, that will continue to show up, day after day with my hard-headedness and being stubborn. And sometimes, excuse my French, but just a dick. I can be a dick, dude. And I catch myself every once in a while, and I really need to kind of take a step back. For my beautiful wife at home, honey, I love you, and thank you for that's the number one person right there. I can't even believe that she's still around with me, man. I can just be a jerk, but day in, day out. Yeah. She's there. She stands by me. She listens to all the stuff that's going on, because believe me, she hears it from me. Right. I'm constant, man. I am 100 miles an hour.
Well, to be honest with you, that's part of what makes Hannah, so valuable. Is she's not a dick, So whenever people have to deal with somebody, they'd rather deal with her, and that's okay with me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. People would much rather deal with my wife than me, especially if it comes to my money. You don't want to deal with me. So that is a great idea. I'm still thinking about that one idea, dude, of going out collecting. That's awesome. I love it. We're going to do that.
So, and actually the way that works is the 30% that you collect. So if you collect $1,000 off a $20,000 debt, $300 goes in your pocket, $700 comes off or $1,000 comes off the debt.
Bam. And none of it gets accounted for. What? You got a problem with that?
Yeah, we can do something.
I love it. I love it, man. We got a few people. Hey, everybody out there in the audience, let's see some likes, some shares. Let's see some hearts, man. We got Trey Scott with us today on the Dentologist Live. Man, we have covered. I can't wait to watch the show again. Share it because, man, we've covered quite a few subjects, man. Anything off the top of your head that you would say or can think of that we haven't covered? I mean, we covered a lot.
We have covered a lot, and if there's one thing that I could say to everybody is don't freaking quit. And Dent guys usually don't have a habit of doing this, but I saw so many businesses in this nice little small town that I'm in. They just rolled over and died. A really good chocolate shop just rolled over and died. And I was sitting there thinking, start a restaurant food truck. Sell. I mean, something to help your business. And they literally just shut the doors and rolled over and died. Don't do that. It is going to come back. There's pent-up demand. There's a lot of cash in the market. It's going to come back. You're going to have to adapt and overcome. Things aren't going to be as easy as they were before, but keep going. Don't quit. This is a time of opportunity too.
Hey, dude, like, Gary V. I don't know if you've ever, dude, that guy. And every time I hear somebody go, it's just, I don't even know what I'm going to do. It's like, hey, dude, get on. It's everywhere. You can't type it into any type of anything without seeing him pop up. Get on and watch just a couple of his podcasts or his shows or something, because he literally, helps the person that's completely rock bottom that says, man, I have no money. It takes money to make money. No, it doesn't. This whole country was founded on have nothing, gain everything. And, he is definitely one of those people to help a lot of people. So, Gary V, I told my mom, I told my sister, my family members, I'm like, when all else seems to just completely be, I have to work this many hours. I have to get a third job. Stop. Go and figure out what really you can do to help yourself that is like there in front of you. Like the internet's everywhere. People are all over it, and there's things that you can buy and sell and do stuff. Man, Gary V is just an absolute inspirational person, man. He is. And Hannah loves Gary V, right?
For sure, absolutely. So say same thing with Dan Pena. You ever heard of Dan Pena?
No, I haven't.
Go watch some Dan Pena.
I'm going to give me some Dan Pena. I'm going to go on today and listen to what he has to say. What's he all about? Don't
be a little bitch.
Hey, that's my motto.
Basically, his main deal is there's basically two ways to look at finances. You have Dave Ramsey, which is good. And you have Robert Kiyosaki, which for me is better. Yeah. Okay, so that's two different ways of looking at money. And basically, I think Dan Pena and Gary V harp on some things that says if you are a Robert Kiyosaki kid and your parents are Dave Ramsey people, maybe you should look at somebody else to look up to and follow so you can accomplish your dreams. Right? As your parents' dreams. And there's nothing wrong with either. There's nothing wrong with either approach. Okay, both provide their own realm of one is security, happiness through security, and one is happiness through educated risk. Right. And that's where I love it. I love the game of business.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the whole thing, I'm a follower. I'll tell you, I definitely, I've even become, one of his, weekly, subscribers, where he sends new literature out, notes and things like that of, the market trends and things, what to do, or, just to be able to understand more when you go to conduct your business of, if I'm going to buy that, do I buy three of them? And this is the whole concept around the whole rich dad. Do I buy three of them? Well, now that I've purchased three, because if I purchase three, I get the deal incentive, with my taxes and everything else, where I get to write the whole thing off. Where if I buy one, I can't write any of it off. And it's that whole genre of being able to allot your money and put it in the right place and do things to where you save more of it and you make more of it by investing, the correct ways and things like that.
You can't save your way to being wealthy. Think about that. You can save your way to being secure. You can save your way to being free. You cannot save your way to being wealthy. You have to spend. You do have to spend money to make money.
Got to spend money. That's right.
And Robert Kiyosaki's deal is the best way to make that initial money is through business and basic entrepreneurship. And basic entrepreneurship is this: you see a problem and you figure out a solution, and then you figure out how to monetize the solution.
Right.
Everybody wins. It's a win-win. You got yourself a business. As a matter of fact, I think there was a story in the Rich Dad Poor Dad Oh no, it wasn't. Maybe so. But anyways, it was basically when people came and asked for money, they would give them a shoebox with stencils in it, stencils and spray paint. Like, what is that?
Right.
Well, it's the spray paint curbs. With UGA or Texas Tech or Dallas Cowboys or whatever it is. They'll spray paint the address on the curb. That's $10 cash. You do 10 a day. It's $100 a day.
That is a great subject. I remember my son and my wife, this is years ago, walking up to me when I had, a pretty under the weather looking type of guy, we'll just call it that, show up to my house, the kind of guy that you're a little leery opening the front door on. And I opened the door and he goes, hey, it's like he's like walking away as he's talking to me. He goes, hey, I'm painting curbs, and I want to put your, thing on there. And he had like, two paint cans stuck in his shirt that he had cut holes and taped around so they were pockets, right? It was like, who's this? And dude, something in me just went, don't mess my curb up. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want? And he goes, just $5, man. I said, we'll take care of you. Okay, great. And dude, he did an absolutely incredible job. But my wife and my son come up to me and they're like, you let that, hell yeah. Because you know what? That guy's actually doing it. So you know what? Rather than putting your hand out and saying, here, can you give me money? And, doing whatever he's doing or whatever, or making something of himself. That's not for me to judge. What is for me to judge is that he's out there. He's soliciting, doing this. He's grinding. He's getting his money. He's getting it. Honest work. And he did a good job. Dude, everybody was commenting. I remember there was a couple of neighbors that were like, hey, that's, we're having a cup of coffee in the morning, getting our newspaper. They're like, hey, that curb looks pretty darn nice, and it's like, well, thank you. They're like, did you do that? No, actually I didn't, well, who did you, dude, the guy was great, but man, I tipped the guy, I tipped him $20. It was $5, tipped him $20, and I haven't seen him since. I haven't seen the guy since, but it was a great job. And that's the whole subject is, you know what? You can't knock going on hustling, getting old school. You just can't.
You can do that. 13, 14, kids that are coming up into that age of what do I do? What direction do I go? Do I go Dave Ramsey and do I go the more secure approach, retire after 20, or do I go into entrepreneurship? If you want your kid to be, in entrepreneurship, that you could actually teach them those exact same things with the curb. There was a story in Rich Dad Poor Dad about it was comic books. This kid was noticing that all the comic books got thrown away behind a store. Right. And the guy told him that the owner of the store told him that he couldn't have the comic books because that's how they maintain their value. You had to keep them thrown away, because the kid asked and said, hey, can I have your leftovers? I want to sell them. He goes, no, I can't do that. He got to thinking and he was like, well, can I have them if I don't sell them? The business owner was like, sure, whatever. Like, what are you going to do with that? Well, he collected all these comic books over a year, put them in his grandma's basement, alphabetized them, and was charging kids 10 cents to enter and look at the comic books.
Wow.
Didn't sell them.
Wow.
He didn't sell them.
Yeah.
In the library. And that's the basic mind of the rich dad, so to speak. And
the biggest advice I can give raising two boys, now the young men, get off the freaking PlayStation. I like playing it too. I like to get on it every once in a while. But, especially during times like this, dads, fathers, grandfathers, out there that have, kids out there, there has to, we can't give them full reins. We have to be. And I'm saying this kind of speaking into the screen back at myself because it's coming. My youngest one, he's going to see dad tonight. I'm going to go see him and talk about collections here. That's the biggest thing, it's just hustle, man. You can't knock anything. You want nice stuff, you want to have something, don't ask for it if you ain't trying. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask for it if you ain't trying. We're almost, let's see here. Where we? Oh, I love it, dude. We've gone over it, but that's because there's so much topic, man. I'm going to have you back on because, talk about just an overload of information from beginning to now. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
I love it, dude. I love it. Hey, Trey, I will end the show with asking you, do you have anything that you'd like to add? Dude, we've talked about a lot of stuff. This is a great show, dude. And I appreciate you being on, making me look good. But do you have anything else that you want to add?
As guys are trying to figure out who's who and what's what this year, I just want to invite anyone who has a question about who to work for, or if they're going to work for somebody, if that person's okay. I encourage everyone to reach out to the leaders in their industry. Ask questions. Ask more questions this year than you would any other year. There's going to be a lot of guys who get screwed this year, and it's going to be from their buddies. Okay, yeah. And it's because situations are just going to happen. They're going to be honest situations.
Yeah.
Dire
situations, man. I agree.
And usually, I like to end on a positive note, but if I could just say one thing, please, 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 if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, make sure it's a healthy basket. Don't take a lot of risk this year. Go out there and make yours, but if you can't afford the risk, don't take it.
I was always told that, and when it happened to me, when this recession in 2008 happened, sure. It was like, man, Ian, if I get through this, I will never, ever, ever put my eggs. And I'm meaning, when you have 25 dealerships, sure. That's still eggs in one basket because you're only doing one genre of work. Right. You're not doing, you're not concentrating on any of the other stuff that, might carry you if something was to happen. So that's man, I'll tell you, that's true advice. And Trey, thank you again, man, for coming on. I really appreciate you. What a great guy, and definitely passionate about the industry like myself. We got to, keep pumping them out, man. And hey, the collections thing, we're doing it, bro. That's just, as soon as this thing's over, I'm going to jump on a plane. We're going to meet up. We're going to go get our money.
We're going to do a Facebook Live, man. So start calling.
Yes.
Go to the house and start collecting Facebook Live, man.
I love it, dude. That would make a show
again.
I love it, man. Well, hey, you have a wonderful day. Keep pushing, and we'll talk real soon.
We'll see you, Ian. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Whew, man. Talk about just from beginning to end, incredible information. Watching this show grow, and the people that I'm interviewing, and the answers that they give, the questions that they ask. Man, I'm proud. I am proud to be in an industry that is self-sufficient, self-reliant, and really has some incredible people in it. I'm just proud to be a part of it. They say if you surround yourself with good, like-minded people, that's who you'll become, or that's who you are. And boy, I sure am proud that I'm in this industry. So everyone, make it a great day. Don't let the things that are happening right now in the world fog your mind. Don't let it happen. Keep positive. And I know that for some people, it's really hard to do that. And the ones that you've seen that are around you that are maybe be going through some hard times, I know the minute I get off this, I'm reaching out to my friend Daniel. I want to know what the heck's going on, or how I can help, or how I can veer from anything similar. So everyone, make it a great day. Be kind to yourself and others. And I will see you next week with another episode of The Dentologist Live. Have a wonderful day.